Here you can see the height problem as I'm trying to walk through this place. Good morning. I'm in Heraklion in Greece on the island of Crete. And this morning, I say this a lot, but it looks like a beautiful morning, blue skies, just a little bit of white clouds. The weather forecast says the temperatures will be up, so this should be a nicer day. It's a little bit chilly this morning right now, so I've got my hat on, my heavy coat. I'm gonna go get some breakfast. Today I'm going to head out on a short little trip outside of Heraklion here to a little place called Knossos. And it's about a 20-30 minute ride on a bus to get out there. The buses run, I think, every 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm headed down to the bus station, buy a bus ticket, should be less than €2. Head out to see this archaeological site and explore the area. So that's my excursion for the day. This is the little ticket stand where you buy your tickets for Knossos, and it's €3.40. You need 2 tickets, one to get out there and one to get back. So it's a pretty good deal to go out there. It's like 30 minutes. The bus just changed numbers to bus number 2. It says Knossos. This must be the right place. My bus, and we're on our way. Just arrived, got off my bus, everything went really smoothly. Only difference was it was probably 15-20 minutes outside of the city, but it probably took 20, maybe 30 minutes just to get through the traffic congestion in the city. So I'm going to go ahead and head over here and get my ticket and enter in and check this place out. Thank you. Thank you. So, a little bit of a surprise, and it's pretty awesome. They have a discount for winter time. It's €8 to get into Knossos for the winter time instead of 15. And then you can also get the museum at half price. So during the winter time, it's better to buy the tickets separately, and during the tourist season, during the summer, it's better to buy the combo package, and you'll save some money that way. So the main attraction out here at Knossos is the palace of Knossos, and basically what that's known for is a famous Greek legend, a myth, a story about King Minos, M-I-N-O-S, and his son. And according to the legend or the myth of this story, the king built a palace, and below it, or at the base of it or the front of it, somewhere around it, and a very intricate labyrinth system. And inside he put his son, who was a minotaur. And apparently this was to protect his son, and so there's all these Greek myths and legends about the minotaur in the center of the labyrinth. But anyway, all of that would have taken place in this historical archaeological site, and that's one of the reasons that this is a place of interest for tourists. Here you can see a diagram with 22 points inside the palace, which is basically the route that you can go walking through here following the red line and see all of these various points. Me are some mural paintings on the wall, and it's quite interesting to look at the artwork from this particular time period. And I spent a lot of time studying, probably 2-3 years of Middle Egyptian, using Alan Gardner's Egyptian grammar, took some classes in it, and spent about a year and a half in my university studies studying the Shabaka stone and doing a special translation that I got a commission for. But anyway, when I look at things like this, the images that are here are very, very Egyptian in the style of the artwork. For instance, the feet and the posture of the people that are standing is very, very Egyptian, with the feet pointing in one direction, and the faces and the stance, particularly the hands holding objects like that. It's very, very Egyptian. And so I suspect that there is a strong influence between the two cultures of Egyptian and the Minoan culture from time periods dating similar areas, and that this proximity of Crete to Egypt. Also, looking at the language that was used during this period was Linear A, which to me is really fascinating because many of the symbols that are used in Linear A look very, very similar to ancient Egyptian, and also looks like a very prototype version of Greek, although I'm told that they're separate languages. But one of the interesting things about Linear A is we really don't know very much about the language. It's pretty much a dead language, and there's been no real successful translations of it in modern times. So it's just fascinating to look at ancient languages and ancient cultures, particularly those that we know very, very little about. The things that fascinates me about the ancient world is aqueducts and water and drainage systems that were used, the technologies that were behind it. And I think it's really fascinating. In Minoan culture, they had these circular tubes that were narrower on one end than on the other, and they would fit them into each other, I don't know, sort of like cones going into each other. So the narrow end would fit into the funnel part of the upper end, and so they used this to increase the water pressure and to connect these clay pipes for their water systems. So I just find that kind of stuff really, really fascinating. Throughout this entire complex area, there's a number of storage areas. They call these magazines. Inside of these magazines are small rooms with areas, niches in the walls, and a number of vases and urns of various sizes, from small all the way up to these giant, massive size storage, I guess, vases. I'm not sure what they put in these things, but these are really pretty big. So I'm guessing they probably stored water or oil or something like that. Probably water. Archaeologists that did a lot of the initial excavation for the Knossos archaeological site here, this guy's name was Evans, and so he did a lot of guesswork as far as what was originally here and the purpose of it. This particular area is called the Hall of the Double Axes, and that's just primarily because of this particular pictographic symbol here, that they're guessing this is an axe and an axe there. And the word double axes, I guess, actually is very similar in linguistic terms to the word labyrinth in the Greek, modern Greek. So there's thought to be some sort of connection between labyrinth and double axe. That's something I read on Wikipedia just before coming here. So I don't know all the details on that. You'll have to research that a little bit more yourself, and I could be totally inaccurate and wrong on that, or even Evans could be totally wrong on that. Who knows? Apparently Evans, the archaeologist, thought that this was the throne room for the queen. I'm not sure why. I guess it's a smaller throne room than the other one that he found. So there's like two here. One is smaller, one is larger. And this particular one is decorated with the dolphins that you see back here and the various other fish, as well as some lilies. So maybe he thought that this, because it's smaller, and some of these motifs tend to be thought more as a feminine kind of symbol, that perhaps this is for the queen. It's finished up here at Knossos. I'm going to take bus number 2 back into the city and get a bite to eat. You can judge for yourself from the video whether you found this place interesting and whether you'd want to pay €8 during the winter or €15 in the summer to come. That's all I have for this episode. Please remember, savor the moment, be happy, pursue your passions, and I'll see you next episode.